Hi everyone, here's Ali Raza from ARCMOTION Studio, and here we are with the tutorial part 2 of the Villa Star. In the previous tutorial, in part 1, we have shown you how we can create this outer shell of the building. So in this part, we are going to model the inside of the building and prepare the scene to export to Twinmotion for further visualization. So to begin with, I go to the top view where we had our floor plan of the building. So this one is the first floor, this is the ground floor, and let's begin to create the inner walls. So to begin with that, I'm going to create a cube like this, and I'm dragging it where I want to begin creating my wall. So actually somewhere like this, and I'm going to resize it. I know that the height of this level is 2.80 centimeters, and X, this is variation, this can vary, so we have to just match it with this wall. And the Z, I think it should be something like 10 or 12 centimeter. I think 10 is a good value for that. Yes, or let's make it 12. I think it will be more accurate. So great. And now I can just make it editable by pressing the shortcut C on my keyboard, or I can do that from here. So now let's firstly rename this cube to inner wall, ground floor, something like this. Okay. Now I'm using the polygon mode, and I'm going to use rectangle selection, and with visibility only off, I'm selecting this part and I'm just dragging it back here. So here we need to extend this wall, so I make a loop cut with KL, one here and the other one here, but with the distance of 12 centimeters as well. And now again we repeat this process again. So this time I'm using the shortcut D for extrusion, or you can just right click here and come and select the extrude function here. I'm extruding it, and be sure that the create cap is off. So if it's on, it will create a cap here, and we don't want this. So now I can just extend this wall to this area, and now again I'm going to use the D, so extrude to extrude it. So I know this is 12 centimeters, and now I'm going to select these two parts, and with the same function I'm going to extrude it out like this, and this part we will extend it more, something like this, so that it crosses our exterior wall a bit. And now let's repeat the same process for this part. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this wall, okay, and I'm going to make it split, and I'm moving it to the other side, so something like this. Great. Okay, it looks great, something like this. Okay, but if we go now to our perspective view and we solo this wall out, we see that we're missing some polygon. So I just can use right click and close polygon hole and close it as well. And also we don't need here any segment. So any loop cut. So with UL I'm going to select these two and delete them. But you should go to the edge mode, and now you can select these two, and with MN as for dissolve this. You can also access to this dissolve to, let me find it, dissolve to here with the shortcut MN. I have explained and used repeatedly most of these tools in the first part. If you have not seen the first part of this tutorial series, I highly recommend you to watch it as well, and you will get more familiar with the methods I'm using here and know how it works. So now I come back here with our top view, and here we see we have also one wall here. So with KL I'm going to add a loop cut here, 12 centimeters. Okay, it's 12 centimeters now, and I'm selecting with rectangle selection. I'm going to select this part and drag it outward. Oops, seems not correct. So we should see why is it not working correctly. Oh, okay, because we are in edge mode. We should go back to the polygon mode. So again, go to top view and select this polygon. Now we drag it outward. So something like this, and extrude it to a value of 12 centimeters. It happens sometimes. It does it 2 times, but you can repeat it again. So, and I'm going to extrude them, and by selecting this one I'm going to extend this to this side, and selecting this one and extend it further to this side, and again we make a loop cut here with a value of 12, and selecting this polygon and extrude it. So this is the process how we make the walls. Actually there's nothing fancy, nothing special at all. So let me extend it far more to the external wall, something like here. Okay, and now what we can do, okay, we need to extend this one as well. So one here, other one here, the value 12, and extend it. To where something like this. Okay. We can also use this one, but I put it, I don't care about these niches here. But if you want, you can just make a loop cut here and extend it again. So actually, let me do that. So I think it's much better. Okay, so I make a loop cut here and loop cut here as well. And now I select these and extrude them outward to this one. And now I deselect this one. Extend it to this area like this. And now just selecting this one and extend it. Okay, but not exactly close there, so something like this. Okay, great. Okay, and I'll select this one as well and extend it a bit more. It is your choice to make this wall also joined with this wall as well, but I don't see it necessary, so I put this wall as a one object and make a new object for this part. So I think this is much better. So for that, I'm going to make a new cube. I'm dragging it to the point where I want it. And here I'm going to, again, the height I noticed 280. And Z is, and the X value is I think it's 20 or something, yes. Or 22 maybe. 22 I think is a good value for that. I'm dragging it here so that it crosses a bit through our external wall. Something like this. And here I make it editable. I go to the polygon mode and select this one and I drag it and extend it furthermore. Like, and as I see now here I have my snaps activated. We don't need any snaps here. So again I make a loop cut here with the value of 12. And I'm dragging it again outward. Same here. And I drag it furthermore. So this, like this. So if we now look at our walls in the first row, we see that we have created all our walls. So I name it inner wall, ground, so these three, I select all three and solo them out, and now you have a better look how it is. Yes, but what is missing is the openings in our wall. So let's go back again to our top floor and let's add the openings. Okay, I take it as the doors have the same dimension. So I think I'm making a loop cut here for one, and the next one here, and you see it is almost 85 centimeters. Okay, and here as well. So seems not working. Okay, let's go to perspective and see what's the problem here. No, because we had all these elements selected. So maybe because of that. Okay, let me go back again. I use the same function and give the value here. Great. Now I'll go to the top view again. So it's better maybe to move them a bit. So I go to the edge mode and select this loop and this loop and just drag it a bit so that it is in center of our wall. Something like this. Okay, great. And we'll do the same process for this one, but we have to select it. I think this is the wall, so again KL. We are going to add 2 cuts here and here as well. As you see, sometimes it gets a bit difficult to add the loop cut correctly. When you look closely to the circle in the left side of the highlighted edge, it is where the distance of the loop cut is measured from. But we want the cut to be measured from this side, not this side. To do that, when I hover on the edge, the circle should change the side, but somehow it is still not working. To solve that, I go to the perspective again and do this from here. Exactly, here you see it. Now the circle is in the other side, so I make new one and give the value 85. So now when you measure this distance, it is 85 centimeters. So again, we go to the top view, see which openings we still have. Okay, it's seen also. Okay, we have one here also. So let me first select this one. Let's rename it to floor 2 and move it up a bit. So now we use KL again and make this the same. This is the same problem here. Okay, we need to go to perspective again. Okay, now we need this back. Okay, and for the height, I think it is a constant value of 2 meters. So I give it from bottom, and you see the circle is at the bottom. Now it is at top. When I hover a bit over my line, the circle is on top, the white circle, and when I hover to other side, it's no bottom part. So it will be measured from bottom, and it should be 2 meters. Okay, something like this. And for the other one as well, I'm going to make it seems not active, so now I give a value of 2 meters, exactly like this. Okay, great. So now what we have to do, we have to use our bridge tool to make these openings. So I'm selecting this one and this side, and with the shortcut B, or you can right click and use the bridge function here like this, or shortcut B, you can bridge this. So you have the opening now, and the same here, and the bridge tool to make it. Now floor, the second wall, I select this one, and bridges. Same here, this one, and this one, and bridges. So easy, and yeah, like something like this. Okay, great. So when we look now to the walls in the first floor, it is nothing fancy. So it is just one wall here, 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 and here. It's nothing special. So now that we are finished with the walls in the ground floor, I'm using the same method to create the walls in the first floor as well. And we will continue the tutorial after that. So now that we have done the inner walls, we can just begin to add doors to this. So for this, I'm using the Cinema 4D doors created here. So let me search it for door. And okay, is it too big? Yes, this door. Okay, and I drag it in my project. It will be positioned in 0, 0, And this is good. The good thing about it is that it is parametric, so you can adjust the height and the width, and also if you come here, the depth, how much depth the door has, and let me reset them to the values that we want. And also you can have access to adjusting the frame size, Windows frame size, so smaller, bigger one. I think for example 6 is a good value. And also the opening, you can define how much you want the door to be opened. Yes, but for now I'm just using the 0, and here you can change the size of the opening. So if you click, you can change it. So let me firstly, adjust it to 0 and try to drag it to the position where we want it. So I'm activating, this is also activated. I close this one for now, and I just move it to almost where my door is. For example, something here, okay? But as you see, it is not completely correct because of its PowerPoint, and we need to adjust it. So I deactivate the snap point, the snaps, and I just move it a bit so that it sits right in my wall. Something like this. Okay, great. And from the other side, let's check if it sits right in. Something like this. Okay. And this is the door for this side of opening, so it opens to the left side, or let's change it to the right side, or maybe no, left side. Yeah, left side is much better. And we can now change the pivot point of this object. So let's see if it works or not. Okay, it seems okay. Let me drag it to the top. It seems we cannot change the pivot point of the door because it's being used as a fixed point in the espresso tag in our object. We have to come to another solution to change the pivot point of the door. We can solve this issue just when we put this in another node, and namely door, and left, for example, because it's opening to the left side. Let me check it again. Yes, left side. Okay. And now for this object, I can just drag the pivot point to the up part, exactly here. So, and by using this point, I'm just deactivating that. Okay. I now can make it a instance of it. Okay, and I can just move it wherever I want. So let's see where we should put the next one. Okay, let's rotate it. Degrees, or it should be okay. It seems that because this wall is thicker than this wall, we cannot position this here. So let me, okay, but we can position it here and just rotate it. On 80 degrees. Okay, but it seems this is not the right one because the opening should be in the right side. Okay, but let me see which door we can have this on it. Maybe we move this to this one and rotate it here. It should be the other side. again. Okay, something like this. Okay, this one can work. See, this okay. This one. I'm going to select the left door and I make a copy of it. And for this one, I change it to the right. And for the parameter, don't forget to take this tick off. And I move it to the position I want. Here. And I rotate it 180 degrees. Now it is positioned correctly, and we can also define how much we want the door to be open. For that, I will set the opening to 0 to have the door in the closed state. So, like this. Okay. So now I'll skip the recording for the other doors, and I'll come back to you when I have added other doors to the scene. So now that we have done the inner parts, the doors and the walls, this is time to prepare our model to export it to Twinmotion and work further there. So for that, the most important thing is the UV mapping of our objects here in the scene. So for example, if I select external wall, yes, I have defined several polygon selections. For example, this one, the first one, when I double click on it, it says all the gray facet surfaces that are going to be gray, that are going to have the gray color are selected. And if I select the second one, you see the white ceiling in the outer part of our building is selected. And when I click on the third one, it is the brick material, the dark brick material selected, and so on. Now that we want to see and check if our UV mapping works correct or not, we have to make a new material. And in this material, I double click it, and in color, first reflectance, I can turn it off, and in color, in texture, I use in surface the checkerboard. Yes, the checkerboard object, when I drag it, for example, on my first polygon selection, yes, I drag it on this one. Okay, you see that it's selected the gray facet. This selection tag is added to this object, so I drag it near my tag, something here. As we zoom in closer to our object, it seems that some cells are stretched and not working correctly on our object, and some polygons has no UV at all. So how do we correct this? Because this is very important if we want the materials to work correctly on our surface when we transport the file to Twinmotion. For that, first thing to do is to remove the existing UVW tag on the object. But before that, because we have several different tags, and this UV tag is assigned to all of them. So what I usually do, I select my first one, and I right click and I split it. So, and in the first object, I delete the selection polygons and also its selection tag and material. Something like this, okay? So now if I just hide out my second splitted object, the external wall should look like this. So I turn it back again. So, and now because I want this object, let's for example rename it gray. I'll click it when I select it and write gray facet. Okay. I can get rid of all these other selection tags. So now, and also here we have to delete the selection so that the material will be assigned to the whole object. When I solo it out, you can see it much better. So there are several ways to correct this issue. One is to, for example, to go to UV edit and try to correct this there. But as you see, because our model is a rectangular model, the simplest way is just to come here and I make it cubic. Now you see that everything are correct. There's no stretch, there's no unassigned UV maps and so. But at the end we have to change the cubic projection to a UV map projection. And the reason is that Twinmotion does not understand the cubic projection. It just understands the UV map projection. So how do we change that? The first thing to do is to get rid of the existing UV tag. Right click, and here I click generate UV coordinates. So and so we have now, as you see, our method, our projection is not cubic anymore. It is a UV mapping. This is actually what we were looking for. As simple as that. So great. So now we are going to do that to the other parts of our building too. I mean, to the facade, to the windows, to the doors, and the balcony, and everything, every object that we have in our scene should be used with this method and they should have a correct UV map. So let's go to our external wall, select the second selection tag. What is it? This is the white ceiling outline. So this is outer part of our ceiling. As you see, some parts are not selected, so I just go here and select these two as well. Let's check out other side. Okay, now it seems that every polygon in these areas are selected, and I just need to update this, and I'm going just to again right click and split it. So, and again here I go to my name and delete these polygons, and also I delete my tag, and to check out if we have not done anything wrong, I just hide the splitted surface, and you see it is hidden. Okay, so now I turn it on again. I delete all of my selection tags on it, and I rename it also white ceiling outside. Okay, and again I'm going to add this checkerboard object to it, and as you see, it is also not correct. Okay, so now I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to make it a cubic map. Now it's correct. I delete my old UV map tag and I create a new one here. So I will repeat this process for all parts of my external wall and correct its UV maps. So now that every UV coordinates of our external wall is corrected, we need to assign the materials to each of these objects, because this is a checkerboard just to check how this UV coordinate sits on our object. So let's begin with our, for example, gray facet. We know that this is a gray color, so I simply just make a new material and I change the color to something gray, and I rename it to gray. Okay, and now that we created the gray material, to assign this material to the gray facet, to this material here that we have created, I need to hold the Alt key on my keyboard and drag this gray material on top of our checkerboard material. So now it is gray, but it is so that this material has all the attributes of the checkerboard material which was assigned to the object before. And now I do the same for the white ceiling. So I make new material, I name it white ceiling, and by holding the Alt key on the keyboard, I drag this on top of my checkerboard object here. And the next one is brick wall. The brick wall is also a material I named brick. And important is that have other color for this, and also I put 200. Well, let's make it 80. So this will be our brick material. By holding Alt, I drag it on my brick material. Okay, in Attica, I name it to Attica. It would be a metal material. I just need to change this hue, so I put it to 30, and this one also to 80. To make the difference, we can also change it. So instead of 30, I can make it 50. Okay, great. So that we have color variation in our project. It doesn't matter which color you assign to these objects, because these colors are just here that in Twinmotion understand that this should be a material and the material is not the same as others. So to differentiate between the materials assigned to our object. So the color is not important at all. I'm just trying to give the material close to this what we will have, so we have at the end a better understanding. But it's not a must. You can feel free to assign any color to our object, but the colors should not be the same. So if you have, for example, 100 objects, they should have 100 different colors. So the ceiling inside is also white. I can also make a new material here, white inside, and give it to my ceiling inside and the wall inside. So white ceiling, white inside, and I drag this on my ceiling material inside and my external wall here, and the roof. Here I make a new material, I name it roof, and I change the color, this to 80% and this to 60. Okay, and I assign this to my something. Okay, now we have what we have so far is different one object that is categorized in different items that each of them has another material. But at the end, we want to have just one object at the end. So we just want to have the external one. So what we can do now, we can just right click on the external wall and select connect object and delete. And as you see, because we have assigned different color to our object, it has automatically created different polygon, different selection tags that we had at the beginning before we separated our wall. For example, if I select this one, double click on it, it shows that it is our brick wall, and the second one is our roofing, and so on. Okay? But the name is something else, but it doesn't matter at all because we have assigned the color, and this is what's important. And this is the corrected UV map, so we are sure that every UV coordinates in this object is based on this, and it is correct. Okay, So the same process goes on for the other option, for the other object in our model. So I mean for these railings and for these windows and frames and so on, this will be all the same. So for example, let's try to begin with this object. Let's see what this is. Let's select it. See what, okay, this is our third floor window. This is separated by itself to two objects, frame and glass bar. So we don't need to separate anything here. We just need to assign our material to the frame. And you see this is not correct. This is stretched here on the top, and the median is also stretched vertically. So I just go to UV mapping and change it to cubic. Now it is correct. I delete this one and right click on my material and generate a new UVW coordinates. Okay, and the same to the other one. See, here is also the same problem. I delete this and here I say material to cubic mapping, and this should be our glass bar. Okay, now we need two different material. First one, we name it frame, or let us say windows in frame, and let's give it the color 10, and this 80, and I put my frame. Okay. And for the windows, I make it, for the glass part, I make a new material, double click, and make it green glass. This is the name, and the material I give it, for example, something here, 180 or 70 maybe, and this 80 again, some color like this, or maybe more, 190. Or maybe 200. Let's see what color it is. Okay, it's too blue. 180. Yes, for example, this color seems to be good, and I assign it to our class. And now I can just select these two and connect object and put. So I rename it now. So I name this name. I copy this and come here and paste it. So now I can drag it out of my null and just get rid of this one. We don't need it. So this window is also UV and it is covered. We will do the same trick for everything here in our scene. Every part of our scene, interior or exterior, we should do the same. So I'll assign the materials to all objects and we'll continue the tutorial after that. So now we are finished with the UV mapping for all of our objects in our scene. So as you see that every object has its own color and definition. So here in Object Manager you see, for example, the external wall has these materials and these tags assigned to them, and also this UV map is defined how the material applies to our object. And this is the same for all of our objects in the scene. Just the one thing that I didn't change is the doors. The door that I imported is directly in Cinema 4D because I'm sure that it has the right UV coordinates. And when I open my material manager, you see that every door, every item that we have, every material we have has its own color, and it is just a simple color. It's not fancy. For example, when I open one, you can see it has just this color, material, and reflectance. And of course, you can turn off the reflectance. You don't need that. So our scene is just ready to import into the Twinmotion, and let's see how it works. For that, you just need to save your project as a Cinema 4D project. You don't need to export as any other format. And let me open now the Twinmotion. Here I have my Twinmotion and I make a new scene. So now we are in Twinmotion and we want to import our scene in this one. And here we have an import option. Click on it and say what data you want to open. So we'll start final here. Okay, now I open it. It tells me collapse this data or not. I say that keep the hierarchy. So it means that everything that we have in Object Manager will be added here in our project. Everything else is okay. You don't need to change anything and just import. It takes a little time, but you see that now we have Villa Star in our scene. Okay, and every color we assign is correctly here. And here it is simple. So for example, with sync up, I can just select these. I can hide it, so we don't have them anymore. This sphere and the base. So here's our Villa Star, and here's all the hierarchy that we have in our project. So you have access to all of them. So the simplest thing that I want to show you why we have assigned the materials. Okay. So for example, if I go here to material, I choose my glass, and for example, I choose clear glass. For example, I can just simply assign it to my glass in the window glasses. As you see, every object that had this color in our Cinema 4D has now this glass material. So, for example, I want to add another glass material to our railing here. I can, for example, select this reflective glass. It's another kind of glass. Or, for example, I come back and select the wood. For example, I choose, for example, this wood, for example, for my interior. I can just assign it to my interior. And it will just be assigned to my interior here. And of course, here you can rotate it. You can, for example, I rotate it, for example, from 90 degrees, and you have everything rotated. You can also scale it, and so that it matches with your design here. As you see, for example, we come back here, and let's see if we can find bricks. Yes, okay. For example, let's see what we can choose. For example, let's choose this one. For example, this brick, I can simply drag it on top of my object, and everything that had this color before, let me undo this, everything that had this color before has now the material brick. So let me find it again. This here. And here, of course, you can work with the colors. I can make it darker tone or white tone, something like this. And you can also work with its material and so on. And also you have access to the Megascan library, and there you can find more suitable bricks that to import this. And for example, for the wall covering, I can choose, for example, this, let me see, this plastic coating, no, this one. For example, this plastic coating, yes, I can choose this for my interior part, yes. So I just drag it above it, and this is done. As you see, for example, I can add this, let's see if we have suitable 3D exterior. For example, let's try this. I add this to my exterior, but it should be in gray color. But if I go closer, you see the grunge and this bump and everything in this placement. Everything is in the right place. Just I need to change its color. I can change it to epic gray tone. And so here we have it. Of course, it's not the render, not the rendering, but it is how the material is designed. If you want to have a render, you can try this with V-ray tracing. With ray tracing, it takes a little bit of time to give us the result. And you see here closely we get to our ray tracing object. And there is still work to do on the project in Twinmotion to get to the realistic visualization that we are looking for, but it is going to be covered in the third part of this tutorial series, which I'm working on it right now and will be uploaded soon. And so now we are done with the part 2. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and learned something new. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe so you get informed about our upcoming tutorials. And also please press the thumb up icon so you can help us reach more people and support us for making new and better contents in the future. Thanks for watching and have a good day.